All right, y'all. So you got Dollar Bilsko from the Back and Forth Show. I got a little something I want to present to you all. I call this things people believe. The things people believe. People believe a lot of off the wall stuff. A lot of people have weird off the wall beliefs, and it's your right to believe whatever you want to believe, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. Check these out.
When I had my experience with the Lord, he was not white nor was he black, but he was Middle Eastern. He had the same color. If you were to take a bottle of olive oil with the oil that you could see through it, and you were to hold it up to the sun. In fact, the next time you go outside, when it's sunny, go get a bottle of olive oil and hold it up to the sun. And that's the same color that Jesus is. But I want you to know,
Wait a minute.
when I had my experience
What did dude say?
with the Lord, he was not white nor was he black, but he was Middle Eastern. He had the same color. If you were to take a bottle of olive oil with the oil that you could see through it, and you were to hold it up to the sun. In fact, the next time you go outside, when it's sunny, go get a bottle of olive oil and hold it up to the sun. And that's the same color that Jesus is.
Okay. Okay. Again, I mean, the Bible clearly describes how Jesus looks. And this guy did not read the Bible. All right. Look at the caption that's in the photo. It says, "When I see paintings of a white Jesus, I wonder if he is really white." Um, Come on, y'all. Y'all not reading the Bible, man.
But I want you to notice something about that group. They will always make things about race and never focus
It ain't about race. It's about accuracy. It's about being correct. It's about being right.
on the deity of the person of Christ and what he did.
And this dude says this with blonde tips. Oh my goodness.
This is how you know that they're
So
false.
it's come to my attention that there are a lot of people that do not know who are in the church. And actually some people who deconstructed and deconverted from the church don't know this as well. But Moses, Abraham, Jeremiah, characters like that never existed.
Huh?
They do not exist anywhere except within those writings. There is no archaeological evidence for ancient Egyptians ever enslaving ancient Israelites.
What? Let's go.
As a matter of fact, the term Israelite did not get invented until after the alleged capturing and enslaving of the Israelites took place. The timelines are off badly. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John never existed.
What? Oh my goodness. The things people believe, y'all. The things, what is in this man's head? This is an Israelite brother saying that Israelites never existed. Oh my goodness.
Those are names attributed by the church to those writings because they are anonymous.
What? Okay. Okay.
This is staggering. Let's go back to Moses. If Moses never existed, which he did not, do your research.
What research? What research are you researching in? Where are you getting this information that Moses? Oh my goodness.
Do not do a basic Google search where you're going to get biased journal articles from Christians. No, you want scholarly articles. You want a non-biased.
He says to use Google Scholar or Chat GPT. Yeah.
Article. You want those research studies that have been conducted and over again rendered the same results. You want the facts, not feelings. And so you'll find that people like Moses was made up. You hear people say, oh, well, the name was changed, but he really did exist. He did not. How can you write about your own death? These are things that only takes critical thinking to understand, this is fiction.
And he's critically thinking, okay.
And the serpent said unto the woman. At that point in time, I think a reasonable mind who's not blinded by this thing called faith will understand that that's fiction. A child, as soon as they read that the serpent said unto the woman and they ask the question, what is the serpent? And if you refer to any animal, they're going to say, this is not real. So Did you know that Moses, Abraham, all of these individuals that we believe were real, they're false.
He needs to prove that. He needs to show us where his resources will lead him to that decision.
None of them ever existed. Now, this is liberating. It's liberating, and I hope that you find out why it's liberating.
Satan was right to rebel. Think about it. When Satan rebelled and left heaven, a third of the angels went with him. Imagine you quit your job and a third of the company decides, fuck it, fuck this place, I'm going with you. If I saw that happen, I'm looking at the one that's in charge. What the fuck are you up here doing to where a third of your company has decided to leave at once? Oh, well, he was kicked out because he wanted to be like God. If he was kicked out of heaven, how was he allowed to go back in the book of Job? He shows back up to heaven again. I don't think I can go back to a place if I got kicked out of there. And when he shows back up, it's not like God tells him, hey, get the fuck out, I kicked you out of here. No, the first thing God says is, hey, bro, where you been at? And then they make the bet. And if you really think about it, we don't know much about Satan, the devil, Lucifer, whatever. I'm using them interchangeably in this video. The main thing the Christians try to say is, oh, the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He's evil and he's out to get you and all of that. If you read the Bible, it's God who's doing all the killing, the stealing, and the destroying. The devil wasn't really doing all of that. The only people he killed was Job's family. And that was part of the bet. And so, you know, God signed off on that.
Sister, stop it.
He allowed that to happen. The devil hasn't stolen anything. He hasn't destroyed anything. And we don't really know much else about him. Is that not strange? Does that not raise any eyebrows at all? He's supposed to be like our number one enemy and oh, he's out to get you and oh, this, that, and the third. And we know like nothing about him.
The Bible says Satan has come to kill, steal, and destroy. What are you talking about?
We don't know his story. We don't know where he came from. We're just told that he's evil. And we're being told that he's evil by the one that's actually out here murdering.
And look at the caption. Girl, you convinced me that Satan was kind of right after for rebelling. Oh my goodness. The people who believe this shit.
People. God has killed millions, if not billions.
And he's coming back to kill more. You better believe that.
Of people. And he's the one who created evil. I will quote Isaiah 45:7 until I am blue in the fucking face. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all of these things.
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe the one who literally created evil, that he's not the evil one. It's actually the devil who hasn't done anything. I call fucking bullshit.
People think of me in a certain way based on what they have seen. Y'all can't read these words, but I'm going to read them to you. He put out right before he died. He said, I'm ready to die and nobody can save me. Biting the bats' heads off, drinking blood, urine, all that stuff in the concerts. Basically just devil worshiping. He said, but it's coming for the African American.
Who said that?
American kids. Busy Bone came out talking about the Mr. Ouija. It was written backwards, and you hold it up to the mirror, and there was a confession that you speak. They opened up our community to that spirit. Wow. Now when you see young black men, they look totally different now. But God showed me that in the 80s. People thought I was crazy. Black folks, they go worship the devil. No way.
Meaning, if we were to go back to where hip-hop was at its inception, would it then be acceptable?
Not at all. Hip-hop was corrupt in its creation. African Bambaataa went to Africa. He learned the ways of the Zulus. The Zulus are into ancestral worship. People's like, oh, no, it's just beats. And if you know anything about frequency, you know that it's never just beats.
Okay, I can agree with him on that.
You think about the feminization of men in hip-hop. You got rappers wearing skirts and dresses.
These guys are taught by Aleister Crowley to channel spirits from the flood. Nephilim were used to getting praise and worship.
You see this movie Sinners just came out.
Some people can watch it and it won't do anything, but some people can watch it and have an open door. It's the difference to me between Christian hip-hop and Christian rap.
There's a culture that's attached to it.
There's a spirit attached to it. I've been addressed by the spirit. This guy was shy, timid. He was like mousy. After we had dealt with the demons of his wife, he manifested. When this spirit manifested, he sat back on the chair. He had a toothpick in his mouth and he sat back on the chair. I said, you know who I am? He said, yeah, I know who you are. You chosen.
Oh my goodness. Now that part, I don't know.
I said, chosen for what? He said, to deal with me. I said, well, what's your name? He said, hip hop. If you take his riches, you owe him something. There has to be a rite of passage.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to warn the church. You sell your soul to the devil, you owe the devil your soul.
Even if Jesus never bowed his head, if he accepted the perks that the
And that looks like an image or it looks like white Jesus. Come on, man.
enemy offered, it's as good as worship.
Beyonce had to go to her to get her womb unlocked. The 3 women that were over BLM, they're lesbian witches. And they were doing Yoruba ceremonies in the streets.
God wants you to know that he is far from done with you. He's commissioned, licensed you, not just for then, but for now. He chose you.
I'm gonna be honest. They told me that this might not even happen. I was like, okay, good. I know God spoke to you. It just gets tough. That guy was 30. This guy's 55. It's totally different. I'm on every believer's side.
He wants a religious movement. Everybody don't need to follow the Bible. Everybody don't have to follow the Bible. Christianity is only 2,000 years old. Do you know how old we are? African people, modern
Roman
Africans,
Christianity.
been on the planet 250,000 years old. We've been dealing with God for 250,000 years old, and this man wants me to throw out my spiritual heritage and culture and reduce my association with the Most High to a book that he reads that's only 2,000 years old, and it's not even that, because after the so-called crucifixion of Jesus, who we can't even prove exists.
Come on, man. Don't go there. Don't go there, bro. Don't go there.
The
scriptures are way more
who we
than
can't even
2,000
prove
years old.
existed.
Okay.
The Bible wasn't written down for what, 100, 200 years after Christ? So the religion might be
That's not
2,000 years old.
What
The
point
Bible
was you
might have
gonna
been with
make,
us for
bro?
what, 1,800 years old? Do you know how ridiculous it would be for a people with 250,000 years of spiritual culture to throw it out to pick up a 2,000-year-old book? That's insanity.
All right, copy. What burn you to
He died on Good Friday.
He never died.
You know, listen to this.
He rose from the
Jesus
dead
never,
on
no,
Sunday.
That never happened. That never happened. That never
So
happened.
he never moved the rock.
No, that never happened.
He never walked.
That never happened. He never died. Listen, they put books in the Bible to let people believe certain shit happen. If they told you Jesus died, then you believe you can die, right? If they told
Huh?
you he came back in 3 days, you think you have to die first to see anything. So they gonna make you believe that. Jesus never died. How could Jesus die when he was a hologram? Jesus is consciousness, right? So how could he die? How could something that's not a body die? It's just kind of crazy. But they did crucify somebody
Yeah, hold on. Let me let this play out.
in the place of Jesus and made the world think they crucified Jesus. Because when Jesus came back to the disciples, he laughed at them and said they thought they killed me, but y'all don't know that because y'all ain't got the full Bible. You got to get the book of Adam. You got to get the book of Thomas. You got to get the book of James. You got to get all the books. If you don't get all the books, you can't put the story together.
Bruh, leave the weed alone, and the crack, and the coke, and the syrup. There you have it, y'all. Peace.